everyone, my name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today I'll be tying it's kind of a scud pattern. It's like a full back almost. It's just something that I've been using for many years and in different variations. So I will switch over to the other camera and show you what I'll be tying. So that's what I'm going to be tying. Fairly simple pattern. Yeah, it requires a little bit of patience around the head, but it's not a big deal. So I also tie it without the hackle. I'll tie it like that, just a small guy like that, and with a little bit of wire rib. And sometimes I'll tie him with a bit of a whiter hackle, or a green hackle. This one I used a little bit of UV resin on the shellback. I have to put another coat or two on it. You can see there's still some gaps and stuff, but a lot of times I'll just leave it just like this. No UV resin, no wire, no nothing. So that's pretty well what I'll be tying today. So in the vise today, I've got a bigger hook than I normally tie it with. The same with this one. This is a little bit larger than I normally tie. I like tying in a size 12, size 14, but this is a size 10, and that's what I'll be tying today. So I'll be using the Hook-Hends BL599 in a size 10. For the tail and the shellback, I'll be using a piece of pheasant tail. And for the body, a little bit of Peacock ice tub. You can switch that up. Sometimes I put a little bit of orange mixed in with it. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of a lighter green mixed in with it, but I really like the Peacock color. It goes really well. So, and then sometimes, like I said, I'll use a small wire to rib it like that if I want to, but not gonna today. Oh, and I'll be using a ginger hackle. Okay, so let's get going. Oh, and Semperfli Nanosilk. So, as always, a little bit of wax on your Nanosilk. Get her started. Now you can also do this with a bead if you want in the front. If you want a little bit of extra weight, you could put a tungsten bead in the front or something. You can also do a little bit of sticky back flat lead, or just lead wire on the underbody. That's up to you. I do tie some with lead underbody and some without, just so I have both. But to be honest, I actually prefer it without. It just gives you. You can just use a different sinking line technique. Use the countdown method. Just have it a little longer countdown. So I'm just going to take some of my Peacock pheasant tail fibers here. I'm just going to line them up as best I can. So I take them off 90 degrees, line them up, rip them off. It actually might not have been enough. I'm going to pull just a few more off. I didn't take enough. I've been tying smaller ones lately, so I'll just add that to that. Line up those tips. So there. So I wanted about the length of my body. So about the length of my body. So that's about right there. Transfer it over. Loose wrap. And then I'll tighten down. Tighten down. Tighten down. Behind and under the tail. Tighten down. Then I just push that back. Okay. Now I could have tied this in the other way, so I had it facing the opposite way, and that way it would come back and over. But I like it this way as well. So now I'm going to take a piece of hackle here. Yeah, that one will be about right. So just one piece. For those of you that don't use hackle a lot, it's just a little trick to be able to separate the fibers at the front. You just use your hackle pliers and grip onto it, right? And then you can just stroke back until you open it up to your tie-in spot, right? So, and then I'm just going to catch that in on the side top area. Since this is not a small body, like I don't have to worry about size. I don't have to put my materials, like if all I was doing was like a thread body or something like that, I would have put that right to here, right? And then that way you would have kept your same size body profile, right? But So now back to the back, a little bit of wax. Sorry, knocked that out of focus for you. Take some of my Peacock ice dub. Just gonna dub that on. Fairly thin noodle. You can always go over it if you have to, right? So. And I want to get a little bit thicker, typical of your scuds. Right, I want to get a bit of a hump near the middle here, and then I want to thin out again. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. Put a little bit more wax on. Shorten my thread. I probably need a little bit more than that even. Yep. I'd rather do this 2-3 times than have a whole bunch and then you got to pull it off. I find sometimes when you pull it off, you end up leaving these little stragglers that just don't look natural. So I'm going to go back over that just a bit, get that fatter. And I'm going to just build a little bit of a head here. Okay. So now I'm going to take my hackle, once right at the back, and then I'm just going to rivet forward, palmer it forward here. Okay, tie that off, a couple of times in behind, a couple of times in front. Don't worry about those little stragglers sitting out the front right now. We'll take care of those in a minute. Oh. Don't cut your thread like I just did. These scissors, these are renowned scissors. These things are so sharp. Even with the Semperfli. This Semperfli is amazing thread, but man, these renowned scissors are sharp. I've never had a pair of scissors that sharp before. So I will just restart my thread. Not a big deal. I'll end up with a tiny bit bigger of a head than I'd like, but not going to end anything. So just nip that off, a piece of waste, and then nipped off the hackle. Yeah, for anyone out there wanting to get a really good pair of scissors, I tell you, these renowned scissors, let's see if you can, are great. They come in several different sizes. Right here, I'll show you up here. That's the larger size, and that's the smaller size there. And they come in other sizes than that too. They're great. They really are. So now I'm just gonna kind of stroke, and I can even use my dubbing brush and just stroke some of those hackle fibers down. Just get them off the top. Okay, so now that I've spread them, I can take my Shellback and just bring it over. You want to keep them together. Okay, so I'm kind of squishing it to keep it together. Okay, I'm going to focus that better for you guys because it's way out. There we go. And then once I've got it laid there, I'm going to take a loose wrap. And then once I know it's good, I'm going to tighten that up. And I'll take a look from above. I'm looking down above just to make sure. So for you guys to see that it's looking decent there. So that's not too bad. I'm going to be pulling out some of that dubbing too to help with the legs. So now 3 or 4 turns in front. Now you can either do a whip finish in the front there, or you can whip finish right here above. It's up to you. I'm going to do one there, and then I'm going to cut this all off. And I'm going to do another one now. Okay, now you see that, obviously you guys can see that there's those stragglers there. So I mean, I could have done a little bit of a better job as I was tying to push it back, but it can be a pain with these small ones. So lighter time, I just hold everything back that I don't want to burn, take a lighter to it just real quickly, and then you can take your bodkin if you need to, just to make sure the eye is clear, which it is. And that is it. So now I will take my dubbing brush, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of just a little bit of that dubbing. I just want a little bit of that out. I don't want too much of it because I just want that sparkle to come out a bit more. I want the hackle to be the legs, right? So that is that. Now just a little dab of head cement of your choice. Dab on the top, a little dab on the bottom. And then if there's any stuff that got onto yours. There. So that is the finished fly. And like I said, it's really simple. It's just you got to make sure that you want to keep the shellback right on the top. Okay. And sometimes like this one here is good, but I could have stayed back just a tiny bit from the head just so I didn't crowd the eye as much, but I'll have no problem getting my line through there. So yeah, and that I fish these on intermediate sink tips. I fish them on an type 1 intermediate. I'll even do it on a type 3, it depends, but I like staying a little like with the slower sinks on these. I just let it slowly go down and almost fish it chironomid-ish like. I like doing it with some erratic twists, like, you know, just bring it back slow and then give it some slow little, you know, real slow, quick little jerks. I don't want to go too fast with it. You got to remember these scuds, and if you watch the scuds in the lakes, they're really erratic. They don't ever really swim straight. They're all over the place, right? So you want to make this as erratic as possible. Okay, and sometimes the fish want them fast. Very seldom have I caught fish with this fast, but they definitely sometimes they do. So, alrighty, so give that one a shot. If you like my videos, this video, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you like the videos, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you at the next tying video. Tie lines, everyone.